Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Chauke. Good morning, Advocate Maema.
Good morning, Chairperson.
It looks a bit dark from my right side. Is it done deliberately? To avoid a glare on that computer. Advocate Maema, you are still under oath?
That is correct, Chairperson. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Advocate Nkabinde.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Advocate Maema.
Good morning, sir.
Could I ask you to go back to the bundle on annexure bundle, page 1A, 172. That's where we stopped yesterday.
Bundle is it?
It's the annexures to the witness statement. Is it file what? Yes, so if you are with the annexures to your witness statement, 1A, 172.
A 172.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I'm there,
You
Chairperson.
have it, yes. Now, just to recall, this is the answering affidavit of Major General Boyson in the application brought by Mr. Bongani Mkhize for an interdict inter alia that he may not be killed by the police, correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, in this section, he deals with another instance, which is the killing of Kopolo Tanduli and Nkosinathi Mthembu.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. Was that one of the cases you looked into?
Indeed, Chairperson, it was one of the cases.
Now, at paragraph 34, what does he say?
Paragraph 34, it refers to add paragraph 32. Information was received that implicated Ntuli and Mthembu in taxi violence-related incidents. On 18 September 2008, as a result of that information, members of the South African Police Service attempted to arrest Ntuli and Mthembu. The police were fired upon and had to return fire. As a result of both Ntuli and Mthembu were killed.
Yes, if you can just stop there for now. Just to recap the description that he gives, which is it's in the course of arresting them that they are fired upon. Do you see that?
That is so, Chairperson.
Yes. And then they return fire because that's how they got killed. Is that correct?
That is what the paragraph says.
Yes. All right. Can you continue then?
Their firearms AZ-88 and CZ-75 were recovered from the scene. I accordingly deny the allegations contained in paragraph 32 to the extent that it differs from what I say herein.
Yes. Now, if you look at the actual paragraph that he is responding to, which is contained at paragraph 32, at file 1, the black file, on your right. File 1.
What page?
Page 60. Can you see paragraph 32 at the bottom?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Okay, so how is the incident described there by the applicant?
Paragraph 32, Kopolota Ntuli and Nkosinathi Mthembu. Kopolota Ntuli and Nkosinathi Mthembu, whose names were also on the list, were killed by members of the South African Police Service at Mandeni, whilst at Kopolota's fiancé's homestay, also under questionable circumstances. Prior to the killing of Kopolota and Mthembu, the attorney representing the association had offered to surrender any member of the association suspected of murder of Superintendent Kolmo, should they be sought. I annex here to Mark E, a letter dated 5 September 2008, and refer this Honorable Court specifically to paragraph 18 and 19 thereof. Despite this offer, the South African Police Service proceeded to shoot and kill 2 individuals, once again in circumstances that lead me to believe the correctness of the information referred to above. Once again, the police version is that they acted in self-defense.
Yes. So according to the allegation, they were killed at the house of the fiancé of Kopolota Ntuli, Mr. Kopolota Ntuli.
That is correct,
Yes.
Chairperson.
And it's one of the names that were given in the letter of the 5th of September 2008.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, if you then go back to General Boysen, who says, actually, we were trying to effect an arrest, and in the course of that, we were shot at and shot back. Is that accurate?
That is very, very inaccurate.
Yes. Now, I want to take you then to the contents of the docket to do an analysis of this. So in your statement, this is the case of Mandini. If you can go back to your statement at paragraph 113. Oh, it's page 1-34. So why don't I
I'm there, Chairperson.
Paragraph 113. Is that the same case, the case of Mandini, case 7609-2009, Nzameni Ntuli, Kopolota, and Nkosinathi Mthembu?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, based on what you say in those paragraphs 113 to 119, what actually happened at this scene?
Chairperson, I deal with it from paragraph 115.
Yes.
I skip 113 that talks about the charges and 114 that talks about who the accused persons were.
Correct.
Now, 115, on 18 September 2008, the deceased were found lying in a house at Mandini after being shot at by the accused. It is alleged that Stoltz, accused 3, and Mostert, accused 4, discharged their firearms in self-defense against a purported attack with firearms launched by the deceased. The ballistic reconstruction indicates that they were shot whilst lying down. The firearms that were found placed close to their bodies could not match the cartridges on the scene. 118, the ballistic crime.
So if you could just stop there when you say the firearms recovered at the scene could not match the cartridges.
Yes.
So when General Boysen says we were trying to arrest them and they shot at us, how does that reconcile with that fact you've just mentioned?
Well, firearms were placed at that scene to create that threat impression that the deceased would have been posing a threat to their lives.
All right, carry on.
The ballistic crime scene reconstruction report dispels the notion or version that the prosecution team was wrong to conclude that the firearms, the aforesaid firearms, were planted. The 2 deceased members were members of the Komapumulo Taxi Association. I attach the forensic statements of Jacobus Style, marked as GSM 17.
Yes, now, thank you. If you just stop there, I want to take you through to GSM 17. which you will find at 1A 270. So you will find that at 1A 265.
I am there, Chairperson.
Yes, and the first few pages are just a CV up until 1A 271.
I am there, Chairperson.
And the actual analysis of the scene is at 1A 271 under statement. Correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes.
Shouldn't you place on record what GSM 17 is?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you please explain what document are we looking at?
The document that I'm looking at is a forensic analysis report compiled by Jacobo Steil, who is a ballistic expert in the employ of the South African Police Service.
Yes. Was it a piece of evidence you had enlisted in the course of the prosecution?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. And this specific report, had you considered it before?
Yes, we did. We did consider it in the analysis of the evidence.
Yes. And Mr. Steil, last week you testified, was also scheduled to be one of your witnesses.
That is one of the witnesses to be called in the trial if it had proceeded.
Yes. Well, the trial was going to proceed. There was no if about it. Wasn't that so?
Well, the if is it was derailed because the national director had more powers than we had.
Yes, now I understand. I'm saying when you say if it had proceeded, it's making it sound like you had doubts that it would proceed.
Not at all,
Yes.
no.
Okay. Thank you. If you then go to 1A 271 under statement.
I'm there, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, under paragraph 6, he does a scene investigation and explains the layout of the house.
That is correct.
Yes. And attaches certain color pictures from paragraph 1A 272.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. And under paragraph 3 shows a bedroom. Well, you can tell us what we see there.
At
6
of the Madam Chair,
271.
no,
Scene investigation.
oh yes, it's under paragraph 6, and then there's a sub-paras. Yes, Madam Chair, yes, sorry. These others are sub-paragraphs, so they should be 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, yes. I
That is
see.
correct.
And then paragraph 5, sub-paragraph 5, 1A 273, can you just read out that?
The one that starts with Miss Gabi.
Ms. Gabi, yes.
Miss Gabi handed me a fragment bullet that she retrieved from the carpet during the cleaning process.
And then can you continue?
The bullet fragment is a 5.56 caliber bullet, which was damaged on the base section and could have created some shrapnel leaving the side of impact. See sketch impact mark B in the photographs below.
Yes, just to spend a second on that 5.56 caliber bullet. We looked at them last week, and what did we discover? Which firearms are they associated with?
5.56 are associated with high velocity rifles,
Yes.
such as an R5.
And who is the official user of an R5?
It's the South African Police Service members.
Yes. Now, then the same you see in a different spot in that same page, subparagraph 7.
Before you go to paragraph 7, shouldn't we go back to the answering affidavit where Major General Boysons refers to what appears to be the firearms that were used? If my recollection is correct, I can't remember which paragraph now. Let me look.
It's paragraph 34.
Yes,
Yes,
paragraph 34.
Yes.
May we go back there?
that's 1A 172.
170, indeed, indeed. Reference is made there, paragraph 34, to the firearms. If you look at the fourth line of that paragraph, the firearms AZ88 and AZCZ75. Do you know what kind of firearms those were?
The firearm Z88 is a pistol that is usually used by the South African Police Service, as well as a CZ75.
Yes. Are they linked to the 5.66 bullet, or it's called caliber bullet?
No, they are not. In my view, that bullet is used in a rifle,
Yes.
not in a pistol.
Yes. We call it a high velocity.
A high velocity rifle.
Yes. Thank you. We see two more of these 5.56 caliber fired bullets at 1A273 subparagraph 7 at the bottom of that page. Can you read that out?
That is correct, Chairperson.
So just read that out.
Paragraph 6.7, there were two 5mm diameter holes in the curtain behind the bed at 1,9 and 2 meters from the ground, which is consistent with a 5.56 caliber fired bullet. These two gunshots broke the window and exited the room. See sketch plan trajectories 3 and 4.
Yes. Thank you. Now, if you skip those up and skip the following page to 1A275, now to look at the bodies themselves, we know the bullets that are recovered on the scene are the 5.56 high velocity bullets.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Then when the description of the wounds that are found on the deceased is at paragraph 8 under the heading post-mortem reports, starting with Johannes Nduli Mzamani. What does it say there?
Starting with the body of Kopolota.
Yes.
The post-mortem was conducted by Dr. NZ Kumalo in Eshowe. The deceased sustained multiple gunshot wounds and is the same individual as shown in the LCRC photo album as the deceased with the striped orange shirt.
Yes. Then the next paragraph.
Where are you reading from now?
Under paragraph 8, page 1A275, Madam Chair.
1A275.
275, yes. Paragraph 8.
Yes, thank you.
At the beginning, Chairperson, I said the deceased Mzameni Johannes Nduli death register 347/2008. Post-mortem was conducted by Dr. NZ Khumalo in Eshowe. The deceased sustained multiple gunshot wounds and is the same individual as shown in the LCRC photo album as the deceased with a striped orange shirt.
Yes, continue reading. The next paragraph is the most important.
The deceased sustained an entrance wound on the right back of the head with an associated exit wound above the left ear.
So if you just stop there, you remember that Major General Boyson said these people were being arrested when they were shot. It was in the course of effecting an arrest.
That is correct, James.
Now we see the description say he's actually shot in the back. How does that reconcile?
It is incompatible with somebody being arrested, because you expect when you arrest somebody to be facing you, not with your back towards you.
Yes. All right, carry on.
This wound is upward
This wound
right.
track. This wound track. There's a word you've skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry. This wound track is upward and right to left. There is a further entrance wound on the left upper back. This wound track appears to be forward towards the right.
So just stop there. Now this is the second bullet wound. The first one is in the head at the back. The second is on the back. Correct?
On the left upper back.
Yes.
Yes.
That's here. All right, carry on.
This wound track appears to be forward and to the right. There appears to be multiple exit wounds on the left front upper chest. There also appears to be an entrance wound in the left front upper chest. It seems the deceased sustained at least 3 gunshot wounds. There is no description of the appearance of the wounds. There is tremendous lack of information concerning the wound tracks and individual connections between entrance and exit wounds.
Yes, and then Mr. Mthembu is the next person that was killed in that scene in Mandeni
That is correct.
on that fateful night. What happened to him, according to the description here?
With regards to the body of Mr. Mthembu, the post-mortem was conducted by Dr. NZ Khumalo in Eshowe. The deceased sustained multiple gunshot wounds and is the same individual as shown in LCRC photo album, and the deceased with a white vest and a beige flannel jacket.
On the following page.
The deceased sustained 2 entrance wounds on the right upper chest. It appears that one had an upward trajectory and exited on the left back behind the neck. The second one exited on the right flank.
Then carry on.
There are further 3 entrance wounds underneath the right arm, whereby one exited on the left flank area. 2 deformed metal copper jacket bullets were retrieved from the armpit and the left upper arm, whereby the general trajectory is horizontal from right to left.
Yes, now, this is the thing with this one, is that there are 3 wounds under the right arm that seems that he was shot on the side.
That is correct.
And how are you shot on the side when you are trying to shoot at the police?
It just shows that it is incompatible with somebody who will be firing at the police, who will then be facing the police straight on.
Yes. So on this, one is shot at the back 3 times, the other is shot on the side 3 times, with both of them with high velocity bullets.
That is correct.
Yes. Now we also have the pictures. Yes, thank you.
With regard to the shooting, or the injury sustained on the right arm, you suggest that one cannot be shot on the right underarm if you are facing the police, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
What if there were several police officers, some in the front, some on the left, some on the right? Is that not possible?
It is possible, Chair, if there are more than if there is more than one police officer that you are facing, or that you're dealing with.
What is the position here?
Well, it is possible if the police are approaching from different directions, that one might be slightly on your right.
What is the position here? Were there many police officers that approached this suspect?
Chairperson, it was in the house, so it would have been a confined space, and they would be coming from more or less a restricted same vicinity. I wouldn't have expected it to be people approaching from a distance apart from one another.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is also a photo there at 1A276 in the report of Mr. Stale of two deceased bodies. Well, let me not say deceased, lying down at the bottom of that page. Can you see it?
I can see that, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, they are described by reference to the clothes that they are wearing. So, Mr. Mtembu is described as wearing a white vest and a beige flannel jacket. So we can see in the photo 1A276 that there is in fact a body there of someone with a beige jacket and a white shirt under the letter U, correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
And then Mr. Kopolo Tanduli is described as wearing a striped orange shirt. Now we can see there is someone, I would have called it red, but I understand those who call it orange. But it's a orange shirt with stripes.
That is correct, Chairperson.
With the letter C on them.
There are two letters, a C and an R. R towards the orange T-shirt, on top of the orange T-shirt.
Oh yes, you're correct. Yes, I didn't notice the R. Yes. Now, I'm just looking at the position in which they were found when they were photographed, and asking myself, how on earth were these people posing a threat to the police if this is the position they were found at?
Well, the evidence at our disposal was their position dispelled the myth that they posed any danger towards the police.
Yes. And I'm also looking at the space itself. You said it was a confined space, that it was impossible that this police could have been coming from different angles because it was inside a house.
You can see it's inside
It's actually inside a bedroom.
The bedroom, because there's a bed nearby, yes.
Yes. Yes, so the statement concludes at 1A279. That's the statement of your expert. And then I just wanted to go back then to Mr. Boysen. Did he lie under oath here?
He definitely did.
Yes. Then I want to move on to the next incident that he describes. If you go back to Mr. Boysen's answering affidavit, which is in file 1, page 80.
did he lie under oath here? You are referring to his statement with regard to paragraph 34.
Yes, in the statement made at paragraph 34, page 8 of file 1, did he lie under oath there?
That is correct, Chair.
Yes. And then the next statement that he makes is at paragraph 35, which is the same page 80, but he's now describing the Mkhize incident. Again, all of it from personal knowledge. Because does he attach any affidavit from any of the shooters?
Chairperson, you said paragraph 35.
Yes, both in 34 and 35. Does he attach any confirmatory affidavits from any of the shooters?
No, there are no.
Yes, so this is all from personal knowledge.
Yes.
Oh, shootist. Okay. Yes. Isn't there another operative word which is killers? Thank you. Thank you, Advocate Baloimer. Does he attach any confirmatory affidavit from the shootists?
No, Chairperson.
All right, thank you.
He doesn't.
So we can take it, this is from personal knowledge.
That is correct.
He can come here and explain how he gained the personal knowledge.
That is correct.
Yes.
Chairperson.
Now, in paragraph 35, he deals with Mkhize. Now, this is the last of the 5 instances that he has personal knowledge of. What does he say there?
Paragraph 35.
Yes.
Of the people whose names are mentioned on the list.
No.
I'm
Mr.
reading-
Boysons.
I'm reading.
Paragraph 35, at paragraph 33.
The answering affidavit of Major General Boysons.
Yes, at page 80.
I am there, Chairperson.
Just read what he says.
At paragraph 33, Mkhize was arrested on 18 October 2008 in Pietermaritzburg. He was attending a funeral at the time. He was transported to Scottburg for questioning. After questioning, during which he agreed to effect a pointing out, he was again transported for that purpose. Whilst in the vehicle, he attempted to overcome the driver and was shot in the process. This was in self-defense. I accordingly deny the allegations contained in paragraph 33, where they are at odds with what I say here.
Yes. Now, that is a response to the allegations in that same document that you have, page 61.
That is correct, Chair.
Paragraph 30. Can you just read out what he is responding to? What they say, Mr. Mkhize says happened, Mr. Bongani Mkhize say happened to Mr. Duduza Mkhize.
He deals with it on paragraph 33. On Saturday, the 18th October 2008, Ndu Mkhize, who was a member of my association, was arrested at a funeral service at Kwamapumulo by members of the South African Police Service. He was handcuffed and led away, and we later heard that he was killed. I annex here to Mark F. a copy of the Daily Sun newspaper article wherein his death is being mentioned. Whilst Ndu Mkhize's name was not on the list mentioned by Moses Dlamini, I've been privy to information that he was also being sought for elimination by the police.
Yes, if you just stop there. The one thing about this is that this is a man that is handcuffed, that the last time the eyewitnesses say.
You left us behind. Where was he reading?
Oh, he was reading at file 1, page 61, paragraph 33, the cross-examination
Since
bundle.
he left us at page 80.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Perhaps let's just take one step back. It's in the same bundle at page 61, paragraph 33, and I'm Doom Kize. Thank you. Perhaps you should just read
go
again.
over it.
Yes, the
Over it
entire
again.
paragraph. Yes.
Yes. Ndum Kize. On Saturday, 18 October 2008, Ndum Kize, who was a member of my association, was arrested at the funeral service at Kwamopomolo by members of the South African Police Service. He was handcuffed and led away, and we later heard that he was killed. I annex here to marked F a copy of the Daily Sun newspaper article wherein his death is being mentioned. Whilst Ndum Kize's name was not on the list mentioned by Moses Lamini, I have been privy to information that he was also being sought for elimination by police.
Yes. Now, this is a man, according to the eyewitnesses, he was last seen in handcuffs. Correct?
That is correct.
Yes. Now, how is a man in handcuffs a danger to the police?
Cannot be, because he has already been brought to under control by being handcuffed.
Yes. Now, if you then go back to that page 80 of that same bundle and look again at the version of Major General Boyson.
Now he deals with this paragraph 33 and his paragraph 35.
Yes, but the way he describes it, he agrees that the man was arrested, which would be the same as the eyewitnesses who saw him being handcuffed, but he doesn't deny that he was handcuffed. Do you see that?
No, he doesn't seem to dispute that he was handcuffed.
Yes. But then what he says happened is that after questioning, during which he agreed to effect a pointing out, he was again transported for that purpose. Whilst in the vehicle, he attempted to overcome the driver and was shot in the process. Now, even on his own version, this man never threatened to shoot the police.
That is so, Chairperson.
Didn't pull out a firearm, nothing.
He just talks about attempting to overcome the driver.
Yes. And it's because he was attempting to overcome the vehicle in front of him, according to his own version. And then they say he was shot in the process.
Self-defense, yes.
Yes. Now, how does this fit in with the self-defense?
It doesn't at all fit in with self-defense.
Yes. Yes. Because the next sentence, it says this was in self-defense.
Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't fit with self-defense at all.
Yes. Now, your statement takes us to your own statement, which is when it deals with this particular incident at 1/36, which is Umkomas. CAS 235/10/2008.
Is it 1-36?
Yes. Paragraph 120, if it makes it easier that way.
I'm there, Chairperson.
Yes. And there you deal extensively with this incident. Can you just set it out in your own words?
On paragraph 120 deals with the charges, 121 with the accused. I deal with it on paragraph 122.
Yes, carry on.
On 18 October 2008, the deceased was found slumped with his body halfway out of the vehicle in the backseat of a Mazda Etude on the N2 freeway in the direction of Kwamakuta, and the deceased was handcuffed. The deceased was arrested in Pietermaritzburg on the day of the shooting on suspicion of involvement in the killing of Sup Kongo. The deceased was being transported by Nkabinde, accused 17, and Nico Kraus, accused 18, to Scottburg, where the deceased indicated his willingness to point out another suspect in the name of Nati Kumalo. Before the vehicle left Pietermaritzburg, the deceased, who had his hands cuffed behind his back, requested that his hands be cuffed in front, as it would be uncomfortable to sit in the vehicle with his hands cuffed behind his back. Kraus acquiesced to his request. When the vehicle left, Kraus was driving. Nkabinde was seated in the front passenger seat and the deceased was seated in the back. The police alleged that whilst en route, the deceased attempted to strangle Kraus with handcuffs by putting the handcuffs over Kraus' head from the back and pulling him against the seat with his cuffs on his throat, and that the deceased tried to disarm Kraus.
Yes, now if you can just stop here. We've just looked at the version of Major General Boysen, correct, who says that what happened is that he tried to overtake the car in front of him and that's why he was shot.
Yes.
Now, would the police give a different version about why he was shot, which is what you've just read?
Say again, Councillor.
I'm saying the police who shot him give a different version
Give a different version,
of
yes.
why he was shot.
Yes, yes.
Now, what do you make of that?
Their version on the when you compare it with the how it is described, it's their version is highly unlikely.
Yes, but I mean, it's either Major General Boysen is lying or the police are lying.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes.
Major
But-
General Boysen said that the deceased was trying to overcome the driver. Is that not consistent with that version?
Chairperson, it is it is just overcome the driver.
Perhaps by doing exactly what is being described at 120, paragraph 126?
It could be, although he doesn't specifically say how the driver.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, yes.
But you are explaining it there.
Yes, yes.
This
Yes.
is what the police said.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, because when you're sitting in the back and you're cuffed and you try to get your cuffed hands over the seat to the driver and pull the driver towards, it could be a way of overcoming the driver from the back.
Yes, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
Yes. Yes.
Council?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes.
As a follow-up, and I get what my sister is saying, and it makes sense. But what does not make sense to me is taking it further, because this person is cuffed, and as the description here is of someone trying to what do you call it, to overcome him by strangling him with the cuffs, which are both on his wrists. Now, what I do not understand is the latter part of line 4 at paragraph 126 that starts with throat, and that the deceased tried to disarm Kraus. maybe my mind is not clear enough to imagine how he could possibly want to disarm him with his wrist handcuffed, and maybe let's say he succeeded to put them over Krau's head. So how would he disarm him? If one would understand if the main aim was to have the car overturn or push it out of the road, because this is the driver that we're
That is
talking
correct,
about.
yes.
But disarming him, it's a bit confusing for me.
Whilst at the same time
Strangling.
him towards, pulling him towards the car. The two actions are not compatible at the same time, because you can't get your arms over the head and strangle the person towards the seat of the car, and at the same time, which hand are you going to use then to disarm, because now you are handcuffed?
Yes. Well, I think
Before that, Council, I'm sorry.
yes.
On the point made by my sister that the deceased tried to disarm Kraus, this is your statement.
That is correct.
From which statement did you deduct this averment?
From Chairperson, it was from what was explained to us in relation to the photographs that we saw. What was explained as how the scene unfolded as the vehicle was moving.
No, I suppose the question is, are these the statements in the docket
These
that
are the
was
statements
given?
in the
Yes,
docket, yes.
that's really the question. Yeah.
Statements in the statements of witnesses in the dockets.
Do you remember whose statement?
Chairperson, it is a statement of because there was a driver and a passenger in the car, as well as the person who was with the deceased at the back. I cannot remember their names.
Okay.
Did Nkabinde make any statement? Did Nkabinde make any
Nkabinde also made a statement, yes.
Could it be from his statement?
It could be from him as well, yes.
Council, if you can maybe ask one of your juniors to look for those statements from which Advocate Maema summarized these averments. He was not there, so he must have taken this from somewhere.
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. There is one at UK 0039. Well, anyway, I won't repeat what Mr. I won't repeat what he said. Yes, I won't repeat what he said.
What is he saying? Councillor can repeat that. I see he's looking at me.
No, it says the panel should have its copies. So that's why I didn't want to repeat it. But if you insist, I repeat it.
Junior Council, you are here to assist us. We are not here to make a case for you.
Madam Chair, there is UK 0040. UK. Sorry, no, that's not what it starts. Yes, 0039.
UK 0039.
Oh, I see. Okay. Apparently, what had happened, an arrangement was made with one of the researchers.
We're crowded with so many. You can see behind us there's no space. Those dockets, copies of the dockets, are kept elsewhere in the venue, so they've gone to collect them for us. But we
Yes.
note that those statements may be in UK 0039, Advocate.
Or they've actually just been put on the screen.
It will be great.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I think I saw the allegations. If you go to page 0041. Well, firstly, whose statement is that? Let's just get that clear. Can you look at the beginning of the statement? Yes. Who's
This
that?
is a statement of Nico Kraus.
And who is he in relation to this incident?
He is one of the Ketomena.
No, but in relation to this incident.
He is the official who was
Was he not the driver?
yes, he was the driver.
Yes.
Saying he was the official who was transporting the detainee.
Yes, thank you very much. And then the way he describes the incident is, I can just find that page. No, it's later. No, it's earlier. Okay, yeah. Yes, it starts with as we on page 0041. Yes, that paragraph that starts with as we approached.
As we approached Umini Ultra City northbound, the suspect suddenly grabbed me from behind and pulled me across to Inspector Nkabine's position. Whilst doing this, he was trying to remove my pistol from my chest, webbing holster. I held onto my firearm whilst trying to steer the vehicle. The vehicle started swerving all over the road, and I momentarily lost control of the vehicle. I was trying to hold my firearm and trying to pull free whilst trying to steer the vehicle to prevent us from leaving the road. During our struggle, Inspector Nkabinde was trying to assist me, and he and the suspect were shouting at each other in isiZulu. Inspector Nkabinde was also trying to free the suspect grip on me. Suddenly, there was a gunshot, and the suspect let go of his grip around my neck, and I managed to free myself and steer the vehicle away from going down an embankment and brought the vehicle to a stop. I jumped out of the vehicle and drew my firearm and shouted at the suspect to get out of the vehicle, but he did not respond. I opened the door and realized the suspect had been shot and was bleeding. Sup Newswa, who was following us, had also stopped and summoned an ambulance services and took control of the scene. The suspect died on the scene and was still handcuffed. I sustained injuries on my throat and neck. If Inspector Nkabinde did not fire and shoot the suspect, we would have overturned the official vehicle and either be seriously injured or killed. If the suspect had managed to remove my firearm from my chest webbing, he would have shot and killed Inspector Nkabinde and myself, and possibly the other members in the convoy. While the suspect was in my custody, he was not assaulted or threatened or influenced by members in my company. I reserve the right to add to my statement at any time. I know and understand the contents of the statement. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my conscience.
Yes.
Exception, Captain and Kraus.
Thank you. Is that the summary you attempted to give in your statement?
That is correct, yes.
Now, do you know the picture tells 1,000 tales? In your statement, you refer to GSM 18, which is 1A 280.
1A. One 8280.
1A280, yes, correct. The red marking should be GSM 18.
That is correct.
Now, what are we looking at there?
We're looking at the depiction of the vehicle in which they were traveling.
In which who was traveling?
In which the deceased as well as Nico Kraus was traveling.
Yes. Now, it says on the right the Umkomas, case 235/10/2008. Is this the same case?
This is the same case, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, that vehicle, I think it was described somewhere as a Mazda. Yes. In the statement by Nico Kraus, the statement you've just read.
That is correct.
Now, when you look at that vehicle, you see a deceased body coming out of the left side of the back, correct?
That is correct, Chair.
Whose body is that?
That is the body of the deceased.
Yes. We then
Mr. Mkhize.
That is correct.
Mr. Mduduzi Mkhize. Then it's much clearer in the following page, 1A281. Correct?
That is correct, Chair.
And then in 1A282, he's now been taken out of the car, and we can see the cuffs.
On the arms, yes, Chairperson.
Now, what I couldn't follow with this and the explanation of the police is that the man appears to have been sitting on the left side of the car. If you look at 1A281.
That is correct, Chair.
As well as 1A280.
That is correct, Chair.
Now, I couldn't make any sense of a man sitting on the left side of the car, grabbing a driver on the right side of the car.
The right car of the car would actually be further than the front, which is just in front of it. So it would be more difficult and much more further to reach and get to the position of the driver when you are in a seated position on the left passenger side.
Yes.
A handcuffed man.
The handcuffed hands would find it more difficult to reach out at the driver.
Yes. And at the same time, I mean, he's sitting on the left, the driver is on the right. He's not only trying to strangulate, according to them, not only trying to strangulate the driver, he's also trying to take out a firearm from the driver.
That is correct.
But he's doing all of that from the left.
That sounds very, very impossible.
Yes. But what is also apparent at 1A281 is that he himself has already been handcuffed. I mean, what is the reason why a suspect is handcuffed?
To bring him under control and to restrict his movements.
Yes. So he is already under control,
Yes.
but they still shoot him.
That is just cruelty. It's they could have used other methods to restrain if there was any conduct of this nature, other than shooting.
Yes.
Maybe before you finish off on the question of the position at which the deceased seems to have been sitting, maybe at the time of shooting or so, looking at the picture and seeing that maybe let me ask the first question first. The first one is, do you agree that that person's head seems to be the only part of the body that is hanging
Outside the
outside?
vehicle.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, taking that into consideration and looking at the picture, can you conclusively say that this person was sitting on the left-hand side of the vehicle?
It appears not to be completely on the left-hand side, because when you look at the torso and just the head protruding, you can see that it is not completely on the left. It could be perhaps closer towards the center, but more towards the left.
Your conclusion is that this person could have been sitting on the center and more to the left.
That is correct.
And that would say, in your opinion, this person could not have been sitting on the right-hand side.
No,
of
not
the
not on
vehicle.
the right hand side. at
Thank
all.
you.
That is correct.
Yes. Thank
Sorry,
you.
before you proceed, but maybe in all fairness to the deponent to the statement, Nico Kraus, at page, well, it's not, the paragraphs are not numbered. In the third page, the second paragraph, he states it clearly that the suspect, he gives you a picture of how they were sitting in the car. He said, I was the driver of the official motor vehicle, and then he gives the description, and Inspector Nkabinde was seated in the left front passenger seat with the suspect seated behind me.
Yeah.
So I think if you can fly the picture again, I think to a large extent it explains, if you look at next to his right shoulder, you see the back of the other seat, meaning his torso, his buttocks are more on the other seat, and he has fallen onto the other seat. So it is possible that he was sitting behind the driver, and when he fell towards the left. Am I correct? Is my direction correct?
Yes. Yes. We hear.
So I'm saying, in all fairness to the deponent of this affidavit, we should maybe assume in his favor, given that he says this person was sitting behind me. Thank you.
Yes. No, I think Mr. Mayama, is Isn't that the point you were making, that that statement itself could be a falsehood?
That is correct, because if the head were, if the person was completely behind the driver on the right hand side, I wouldn't have expected the head to protrude out of the car. The mere perhaps what quickly attract our attention as prosecutor was that the head is outside of the left side of the car. So we just immediately thought he was sitting on the left hand side, which is definitely not so. One can see the picture displays it much more. If one looks at the seat which is just in front of his torso, one can see that the back part is not behind the seat, but is more towards the seat of the driver.
Yes.
But what we did was when we see the torso protruding from the body, we just simply thought, well, he was sitting on the left hand side. But now that I see where the bum part of the torso is, I can see that he was not completely on the left hand side of the seat.
Yes. I mean, you addressed this when you were dealing with the question from Madam Ramachakha, that it could at best for them be somewhere towards the middle.
That is correct, yes.
But to say that was sitting behind the driver seems to be
a bit far-fetched.
Yes.
I may just come in here to say that question that I asked, or the series of questions that I asked, were informed by the position that appears to have been the position in which the deceased was lying prior to shooting. But I think it's a matter of evidence and it cannot be settled now in this questioning. It will get settled later when the evidence is being evaluated. Otherwise, we'll be stuck on the question, yes. My understanding, your understanding, their understanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
But let's test the correctness of this averment further. Because even assuming the statement of Mr. Krause is correct, the point made by Major General Boysons is that these people acted in self-defense. Now we have 2 police officers in the vehicle.
That is correct.
Both are armed.
That is correct, Chair.
They are transporting a handcuffed man who is sitting at the back of the motor vehicle.
That is correct, Chair.
The allegation is that this passenger was trying to overcome the driver in the presence of a police officer sitting in the same car, armed. Correct?
That is correct, Chair.
How possible is it that this handcuffed passenger sitting at the back could have attacked 2 police officers who were armed in the vehicle, and they acted in self-defense? Because remember,
yes,
there is no allegation that this passenger was armed. Am I correct?
The handcuffed man?
Yes.
No.
So the question of the police officers having acted in self-defense, as Major General Boysons seems to suggest, is devoid of credence. Am I correct?
Indeed, Chairperson, it is devoid of any truth, yes.
That is, apart from what Mr. Krause says, but
yes,
if you just look at the entirety of these averments.
And the probabilities, Chairperson.
Yes.
A man who is restrained, who's at the back, in the presence of two police officers, what are the chances that he would take his chances? Let's say the driver's focus would be on the driving, but here's a passenger of the driver armed. What are the probabilities that he would take a chance like that? My view is it is highly unlikely that he would take that chance, considering that it's Ketomena police who are armed that are transporting him.
Yes, well,
You earlier on said that in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, Section 49, you said
Yes, Chairperson.
the police officers can, in circumstances where they have to act in self-defense, they are protected by the law in that regard.
That is correct, Chairperson.
And according to you, that provision would not cover the police here, as you have described.
No, it would not cover the police.
And that takes us back to the answering affidavit of Major General Boyson's, where he referred to the provision, to the Constitution and the Criminal Procedure Act,
That is so, Chairperson.
seeking to suggest, as he did, that the law does empower them to act in the manner they did. You remember when you spoke about that paragraph of his statement?
That is correct, Chairperson.
What do you say about that again?
Chairperson, it's generalization on the part of Major General Boyson, because when one looks specifically at the facts, it is clear that the police were not under any attack that had to be thwarted. Is it the right word? Yes. That had to be averted. The man was already restricted because he was handcuffed. So even if you would take whatever steps to bring the car to a standstill, it is two of them, and they would have had ample opportunity to restrain the man.
Yes, for the record, is that paragraph 5 of the answering affidavit at 1A dash 162, where he seems to rely on the Constitution and the Criminal Procedure Act. Just for the record. You may proceed, Counsel.
May I just make a follow-up to clarify some issues?
Mr. Mayema.
Advocate Mayema.
My attention was just back to
Yeah.
paragraph 5. My apologies, I was distracted.
That's fine.
I'm back.
That's okay. Thank you. You're back. Now, I just need to clarify the purpose of the series of questions that I have asked about the probable sitting position of the deceased. Now, that question is not meant to quarrel with the question whether the deceased could have attacked the police officers or not. Do you understand?
I follow, Chairperson.
The purpose is the sole purpose is just to establish as to whether can we conclude that the deceased was sitting on the left-hand side or more to the left-hand side or the center of the back seat or not. So that question is not meant to propagate for a suggestion that it was possible for the deceased to attack the police.
I follow, Chairperson. It's merely just to look at the sitting position.
That is correct.
Without-
that is the sole purpose. Yes.
Without taking one to the front.
Thank
just
you.
focusing on the rear seat.
Yes, thank
I
you.
follow, Chairperson. Thank
Right, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
May I proceed, Council?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I was still at... Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. So we were still at 1A282, and it's relevant now in the light of the questions that were raised by the Chair around the parameters of Section 149 of Section 49 of the Criminal Procedure Act, subsection 2. This question about the execution of a captured suspect who is handcuffed and is unarmed. And look at that body of Mr. Kiza, where it is plain that he is handcuffed. It's common cause he was unarmed.
That is correct.
And it's common cause that there were 2 armed policemen inside the vehicle, regardless of his sitting position.
That is correct.
How do you contextualize that in the light of the provisions of Section 49, subsection 2 of the Criminal Procedure Act?
Consider that he was handcuffed. Movement restraint. My Section 49, in my view, does not even come into picture because it is highly unlikely that a man restrained in the manner that he appears to be would attack or would initiate an attack against 2 armed Ketomena police.
Would Section 49 provide justification for this killing?
No, not at all.
Yes, and if it doesn't provide justification for this killing, what does that make of the killing?
It makes it unlawful, unjustifiable.
And therefore,
it's a criminal offence to kill somebody in a position of the deceased.
and the police could be charged with murder.
Perfectly.
Yes. Thank you. So that takes care of all of Mr. General Boyson's purported defenses of the 5 executed members of the KwaMaphumulo Taxi Association.
That is correct.
I want to move on then.
Before you, just to take that point to its logical conclusion, Council, does indeed then follows that, as you say, they ought to have been charged. Were
That is
they
correct.
not charged?
They ought to have been charged. We charged them, but those charges were...
They were charged.
yes.
That's the point that Council is saying, that
Yes.
it constitutes murder, then they ought to have been charged. I'm saying to you, were they not charged? They were charged.
They were charged, but the national director held the view that there was insufficient evidence to charge anyone.
No, Mr. Maima. That point about insufficient evidence has been dealt with thoroughly in this proceedings. The charge
yes.
against Mr. Chauke is that there was no evidence.
Oh, yes.
Now, could I then move to the next? Madam Chair, we...
Before you...
Was there? What has happened to those charges? Have they been withdrawn? Was there a nolle prosequi by the NPA, if you know?
The NPA has decided not to charge anyone from any of these incidents.
You know, you've just told us that they were charged. Now
Look.
the question is, were the charges either withdrawn or was there a nolle prosequi certificate in relation to those matters?
The charges were preferred by the prosecution team. The national director then in 2019 said, withdraw all of these charges. So the charges were withdrawn on the instructions of Advocate Shamila Batoy.
Now that the charges were withdrawn and this evidence seems to suggest that there was evidence
That is
to
correct.
proceed
Yes.
with the charges. In a situation like that, can the charges be reinstated?
The charges can be reinstated. It makes that decision to direct that the charges be withdrawn unjustifiable and unlawful.
Look, there are families who have lost their loved ones.
That is correct, Chairperson.
And up to now, they are still waiting
Still waiting for justice.
for justice to be dispensed. If the charges are to be reinstated because they are still lingering,
Yes, Chairperson.
they were merely withdrawn,
That is correct.
who should be reinstating those charges? At least in the light of this evidence, or who should consider reinstating the charges?
Chairperson, the ball is in the hand of the Director of Prosecutions, who is in charge of prosecutions in KZN. She is the one that should consider the evidence and reinstate these charges.
Remember, these are racketeering charges, if my recollection is correct.
Chairperson, when one looks at
wait
the...
a minute.
My apologies.
Yes, please. Remember the charges against Major General Boysens and others.
That is correct, Chairperson.
They are the poker charges.
21E and 21F.
Am I right?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, given the fact that those charges were withdrawn, and it appears that there is evidence for the charges to be reinstated, you say that the DPP KZN should then consider reinstating those charges. Did you say that?
Irrespective of the racketeering charges...
No, did you say that?
No, I was focusing on the predicate, the murder of Ndum Kize. Because the murder of Ndum Kize is a predicate offense, not a racketeering offense.
How do you separate that from the racketeering charges?
Chairperson, if the decision of Advocate Batoy would be correct to withdraw the racketeering charges, which I submit is not, then it would be... Remember, when she withdrew the racketeering charges, she then referred the predicate offenses to the local DPP in KZN to consider the predicate offenses. If her decision to withdraw the racketeering charges was correct, which I doubt, they are incorrect in my view, then the decision of the...
Repeat yourself, please.
If the decision of the National Director to withdraw the racketeering charges, 21E and 21F, is correct, which I do not agree with. Then the referral of the predicate offences, the killing of Mdu Mkize, to the DPP would then have to be reinstated by the DPP. But if one would consider the incorrectness of even the racketeering charges, then the NDPP would be functus officio. It would be for this commission then to direct that the charges be to direct the national director that the charges be that reinstitution of the charges be considered in the light of the assessment of the commission that there is evidence linking the accused persons.
Let's not go to whether the NDPP's decision is correct or not correct.
Yes, Chair.
These charges were framed under the facts flowing from the racketeering charges.
That is correct, Chair.
Hence my question, how do you then separate the predicate charges from the racketeering charges in these circumstances? Let's forget about whether the NDPP was correct or not correct. My question was, in those circumstances, this predicate offense of murdering or killing Mr. Mkize, if this charge was to be reinstated, who is supposed to reinstate those charges in the light of what I've said?
The national director, Chairperson.
The national director.
That is correct.
And as we speak now, the national director is Advocate Mutibi.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes, thank you.
Chair, I had a Can I proceed, given that we are 5 minutes into the tea break?
My sisters will ask you further questions. Maybe we should take a tea break now. Yes. Advocate Kwaitobi, we should all take a break.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Stretch our legs. Let's take a tea break for 30 minutes. Do we take a break for 30 minutes or 15 minutes? Will it be quick? Council? Council, you are standing up already. Are you rushing for tea? We have not stood up.
Madam Chair, I find from experience that when it says 15, it's usually about 25. So we might as well take 30.
Yes, thank you, Advocate Maema. You are still under oath, and we'll take a tea break. Advocate Maema for 30 minutes. Thank you. We adjourn. Good day, everyone. Good day, Dr. Maima.
Good day, Chairperson.
Good day, Dr. Chauke. Good day, Dr. Nkabinde.
Good day, Chairperson.
We missed you this morning.
I know. Like Charles Lige.
You only come when we eat.
I've got to pay for my savings.
Yes. And Advocate Chauke, Maima, you are still under oath.
That is correct, Chairperson.
You may proceed, Advocate Toby.
Thank you.
When we paused, my sisters were going to ask you some questions.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Advocate Van Lloyd.
Thank you, Chair. Advocate Maima, given your answer that Section 49(2) of the CPA does not cushion the police officers, specifically the two that dealt with Mr. Mkhize, in your preparation for trial as a prosecutor there, can you tell us whether the ICD or the IPIT got involved and what did they do? And if they did something, is there a report? And if there is a report, what does it say about the death of Mr. Mkhize?
I'm trying to think. Was there a report in relation to this incident from the ICD? Chairperson, I do not remember. I do not remember the seeing a report of the ICD in respect of this incident. Kopolota Ntuli and Dum Mkhize, I do not remember it. There are a number of incidents, and it is a while ago, more than 10 years ago. But from memory, I cannot remember if I saw that report.
But we can accept that because the death of Mr. Mkhize was caused by
the police.
By the police, then ICD or IP should have been involved.
Should have been involved, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Advocate Maima.
I'm all yours, Chairperson.
Yeah,
My
that's
attention
right.
is all yours.
The questions that I'd like to ask you for now relate to the reviewing powers of the NDPP. If you know, you'll give me an answer, and if you do not know, you'll still give us an answer that I do not know.
I follow, Chairperson.
Right, thank you. And maybe let me just give you a background. This question I'm asking because we are told that Advocate Abrahams had issued the certificates, the racketeering certificates.
Afresh in...
Yes, arising from the information that was at his disposal.
That is correct.
More so that the judge of review had actually indicated that should new information
Emerge.
come to light,
Yes.
they could institute that. Now, and we also know it is on record that subsequent thereto, Advocate Batohi was appointed, and she then reviewed the decision of Advocate Abrahams. right?
That is correct, Chair.
Now, do you know, because Advocate Batohi and Advocate Abraham Sue are equals,
On the same level.
on
that
the
is correct.
same level. Do you know whether Advocate Batohi had the power to review of her own accord without even the involvement of the court? Yeah, that's right. Do you know whether she had the power and actually the right to review the decision of her predecessor?
Chairperson, in my respectful submission, I would say she doesn't have automatic review powers without having received a representation either from an accused person, either from the family. There must be a representation from someone for her to exercise her review powers. But Mero Modu, to review the decision of your own predecessor, it is contrary to the law.
That actually amounts to reviewing your own
decision is an overreach,
Okay.
in my view.
And according to your knowledge, between the time when Advocate Abrahams issued the certificates and the time when Advocate Batohi reviewed his decision, had there been any new information that came to the fore?
No, there was no new information that came to the fore.
I know I may be asking for too much, but at the same time, I'm asking you this question because you are a lawyer. Now, in your view, is that review that was undertaken by Advocate Batohi, is it valid or is it void ab initio?
The latter, Chairperson, it is invalid, it is void ab initio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Proceed, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So would Advocate Mutibi be bound by a decision which is a nullity?
Not at all.
So it's open for him to just consider this entire matter afresh?
In the light of what is happening now, he is entitled afresh to revisit the decision.
Yes, but I mean, he doesn't need the recommendation of this panel. He's got enough evidence.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, yesterday you identified in the Melmoth case, I just want to flash that picture again because Mr. Danikas has approached the attorneys to say that picture, that man there who's wearing sunglasses is not himself. He, in fact, had left the country by that stage. So you could have made an error there. So I'm just giving you a chance to correct yourself.
No, I did make an error.
Oh,
just on a quick look,
yes.
The similarities just look to be
Yeah.
So I concede I made a mistake.
All right. Thank you. All right. We can close that and let's move on to the next.
Let me follow up on the question that my sister asked you regarding the validity of the decision by the former NDPP that that decision was null and void.
Yes, Chairperson.
This is your saying so, but that decision was never reviewed and set aside as we normally, as we understand review powers and the legal principles. If that decision was not reviewed and set aside by a court of law, that is on the basis of probably ultra-virus, that decision still stands, doesn't it?
That is correct, Chairperson.
That being the case, the situation in relation to these matters that the charges were withdrawn by, among others, Advocate Batoyi.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Apparently also by Advocate Mlotshwa. I read somewhere in the record that he also played a role there in relation to some of the charges.
That is correct, Chairperson.
The withdrawal does not end the matter. In other words, as we said earlier, reinstatement can still take place.
That is correct, Chairperson.
I just want us to clear our mind there regarding the voidness of the decision of
Yes.
Advocate Batoyi.
Yes.
As you say, it is void ab initio when the court has not pronounced on that matter.
Chairperson,
Yes.
I would say the most appropriate, just to remove any ambiguity, any uncertainty. If I were in the shoes of Advocate Mutibi, which I'm not, and I do not envy those shoes, I would approach court because the decision was made by somebody on the same level as myself. If he were to have the views that I share, that the decision is invalid, I would then approach court and say, this is the circumstances under which I believe the decisions are void. Can we have a declaratory order declaring one way or another, just to remove any ambiguity?
Thank you.
Well, why? I mean, Advocate Batoyi came along. She had a valid decision from Advocate Sean Abrahams. She just summarily overturned it. So why should her predecessor now be taken through a litigation process on a withdrawal of charges? Because I understood the evidence to have been so far, if the charges are withdrawn, it remains within the discretion of the NPA to reinstate them.
Chairperson, when you're dealing with the NPA, you're dealing with the Constitution. I would tread carefully. You know, you don't want a situation where a national director comes and doesn't like the decision of the predecessor and just does as I please.
But that's what Advocate Batoyi did.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. The evidence so far given in this panel is that if you have withdrawn charges, you remain entitled to reinstate them. That was the evidence given by Advocate Batoyi herself.
Yes.
So that's why I'm asking. The charges were withdrawn. Why can that just not be reinstated?
Chairperson, I would tread carefully in the light of the Constitution, in the light of what has happened, that one national director does this, the next does this. I would then tread carefully, and knowing that I have the firmness of a court having made a.
But I mean, wouldn't that just make very difficult the life of the NPA? You know, the withdrawal of charges is almost everyday business.
Yes.
Imagine if every time you withdraw it, you must go to court.
No, not necessarily in every instance, but in an instance of this nature, I would, in my respectful view, just to remove any uncertainty, I would do so. although it's not strictly speaking a requirement.
Yes. Thank you. Could I move on to your statement?
Before you go, you proceed, Council. I'm sorry to leave the point. The nature of the withdrawal in criminal proceedings does not mean an end to the criminal proceedings themselves.
That is correct,
Or the end
yes.
to the charges themselves.
Yes.
As opposed to a decision to stop prosecution
That is
or
section.
not to proceed with the prosecution.
That is correct. That's section 6A and B of the Criminal Procedure Act.
And I think that is the matter that we dealt with in regard to the second part, the Mdluli matter.
Yes,
And
that is correct.
Advocate Batoi spoke to that aspect. But here, now that we know that a decision was made to withdraw those charges, and as I said to you earlier, put aside whether the decision was rational or was ultra-virus or not,
Yes,
we
Chairperson.
do know as a fact that these charges are still lingering,
Yes.
and families have not
Found closure.
found closure. Now go back to my question, shouldn't the head of the NPP and DPP, given the fact that these predicate charges revolves around racketeering charges, shouldn't the head of NPA reconsider this matter and reinstate the charges so that the matters can be brought to finality?
I would agree with that summation, Chairperson. The families of the deceased and the community of KZN would want to find finality in respect of these matters. They would
Yes.
like to know what really had happened.
And as Advocate Nkabinde is saying, can you imagine in the criminal prosecution, how many times are charges withdrawn? And how many times do people have to go back to court again and again and say, let's challenge, we are challenging the review, the validity of the decision to withdraw the charges. It may happen in certain instances, but in a matter like this, I assume, Advocate Mayema, it will just create more difficulties in relation to those matters, because when you go back to court, people must oppose it's money, it's time, and these cases will take forever.
The interest of justice would dictate that there should at some stage be finality in respect of this.
Yes,
these
the
matters.
interest of
Yes.
justice will be imperiled.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Could we then go back to your statement? Madam Chair, I am going to skip some of these instances. There seems to be an emerging agreement, but it has not yet been finalized. So I'll be focusing on 4. Could I take you, Ms. Advocate Mayema, to
Just give a heading to that point, and that you are going to concentrate on 4 of what?
4 of the instances that are mentioned in the statement. There are 28. Yes. There are 23 of the dockets. So I will be focusing on 4 of those dockets. We have already done 3 of the dockets. I'll focus on 4. The reason for that is that it seems, and I'm not going to bind my learned friends to it, it seems that their position will be that they will not dispute the contents of the dockets.
May I verify from Advocate Counsel, you are alone here?
I'm alone, but I'm
No,
not
no,
sitting.
no,
I'm not sitting
he's
alone.
He's merely adopted, So, Advocate Ntweni, you remember the point we discussed at Chambers regarding this matter? You were to discuss, and this was just to obviate dealing with almost everything. So, have you agreed about condensing these issues as Advocate Andrew is mentioning to us now?
Madam Chair, we've only been approached this morning with a proposal to condense as to how the condensation should happen. And I expressed to Mr. Ngaitobi that as evidence leaders, we're not in a position, and I doubt, I will still finalize the issue with the rest of my team. As you can see, I'm in the cockpit alone, that we will not dispute the contents of each and every document or of the dockets, because we're not in a position to do so. If the agreement is that, if the proposal is that, or the evidence is that all these dockets were as they were, went throughout, and there's not been any material change or new evidence coming up, then we're not in a, we can then accept that that is how that was the state of the dockets, and that was the information contained in the docket. And we're not even in a position to dispute whether Mr. Mayama and his team did consider them or not, because we're not part of that team.
And you don't have witnesses who can refute the allegations in the dockets.
Madam Chair, even if we did, it is not for the tribunal to determine whether the allegations are true or not.
The inquiry.
The inquiry. It would have been for the trial court to do so. All that the inquiry must start to determine is whether, based on the information that is in the docket, was there sufficient evidence as the allegations against Advocate Chauke are set out, that he supported the prosecution without, where there was insufficient evidence.
It doesn't seem to me that you understand. It's not about the panel making a determination. Surely, this is not an adversarial situation. Mr. Mayama has relied on certain statements in the dockets. If you look at his affidavit. But if you do not have any witness who can come and say the reliance on those statements by Mr. Mayama was incorrect, that ends the matter, doesn't it?
There will be evidence of Advocate Riley from the Cock panel, who was part of the panel that reviewed these dockets and advised Advocate Batoy. And it appears that that's where the disagreement between the prosecution team and the Cock panel seems to be, whether or not what was contained in the dockets was sufficient to establish racketeering. We'll only focus on the racketeering part, not the murder charges or etc., Madam Chair.
No, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the contents of the dockets.
No, insofar as the contents of the documents, we're not disputing those.
Yes. My sister's sharing with me a note that, I beg your pardon, my sister is sharing a note with me that maybe you should be given an opportunity to consult with your core evidence leader, but you have not sought that request. Would you like to do that?
We will do that during lunch. Hence, Mr. Ngaitobi said the agreement is in the pipeline. It has not been reached as yet.
Yes.
So I had intended to do that during the lunch break. And then only then would we then converse, would we then be in a position to take the final position.
Yes. In that event, Advocate Nkabinde, I think you can proceed with the 4 dockets.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start at paragraph 129 of your statement, Advocate Mayema, which is the case of Mr. Bongani Mkhize. Do you have it?
That is correct, Chairperson. Devon Central 185 of 2009.
Now, we know who he is. He is the person who applied to court for an interdict against his own murder.
That's extraordinary nature interdict.
Yes, and that application was opposed by Major General Boysen.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, he was subsequently killed on the 3rd of February 2008.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, can we just, can you take us through the allegations there, what you say happened in that case?
They are
It
contained.
should actually be 3 February 2009, because his interdict was brought in 2008. So that's an error.
Advocate Nkabinde, sorry to barge in for I think for clarity in the record, maybe we need to explain, because I for a second I was confused.
Yes.
Before we broke for tea, we were talking about a Mr. Mkhize, but that's Mduduzi, and now you're talking about Bongani. Maybe make sure that there is that difference. It comes out clear in the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are dealing with Mr. Bongani Mkhize. The case is Durban Central, which is to be distinguished from Mr. Mduduzi Mkhize. I think that case was Umkomas.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. And Mr. Bongani Mkhize has featured before in this panel because he is the person who brought the application that was opposed by Major General Boysen.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes. And although your statement refers to 2008, that must be an error, because even if you look at the case number, it's 18502-2009.
That is correct, Chairperson. It's an error.
Yes. Okay. So could you just set out the scene there?
Chairperson, as I do so from paragraph 131 on page 1-38,
Yes.
on 3 February 2009, the deceased was found lying in the driver's seat of his black Lexus car. And then references there made to 5 photos from the photo album of the scene of the shooting, which depict the following. The photos are at...
So you'll find those at 1A283.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes. You were describing what they show. You can do it by reference to your statement if it's easier that way.
They show, firstly, the position of the deceased with his hands folded, glass shards, or you call them shards or shattered, which indicate that the windows of the car were closed at the time he was shot at, or at the time the shots were fired, and that the shots came from the right-hand side of the car, from outside to the inside. Photo 2 shows, among others...
So just take us the page, because photo 2 is in a different page.
Photo 2 is on page 1A 284. Chairperson, on photo 2, we see depicted there, among others, a firearm on the front left-hand side, just in front of the front car seat
Of the passenger
of the passenger seat. Yes,
on
it
the
is-
left, yes.
It is circled.
Okay, there are two circles there, so just make sure you clearly identify it for us. There's say a big circle and a small circle.
Oh yes, the big circle is the one that has a firearm inside,
Yes.
and the smaller circle is the one that has spent cartridges. And then we see glass shutters on the seat and on the floor. Chairperson, according to the ballistic crime scene reconstruction report, the spent cartridges were not fired from the firearm found in the vehicle. The ballistic crime scene reconstruction report dispels the notion or version that the prosecution team was wrong to conclude that the aforementioned firearm and the cartridges were planted. Photo 3 and 5 show that some of the shots were fired from the back of the vehicle through the back window into the neck of the deceased. Photo 4 and 5, which are on page 18286 as well as 18287, show that both right-hand side windows of the vehicle were closed at the time it was struck, because just one sees the shutters of the glasses on the rim of the windows, on the rim of the door panel. Chairperson, I also refer to GSM.
Are you looking at photo 5?
Photo 5, Chairperson, if you, it shows.
No, I wanted to know, when you say that you see something at the rear of the vehicle, where are you deducing that from?
Chairperson, I say when you, I said the rim.
At the rim.
The rim of the door.
Which photograph?
Chairperson, if you look at photo 5, with the door opened.
Oh yes. Yes.
You can see that the window was closed up, and when it shuttered, the center shuttered, but there is a top part which is remaining there.
Okay.
And the bullet that went through the neck, as you earlier testified, if you look at the photo 2, where was it fired from?
It was fired from behind, slightly on the right hand side of the car.
Inside, outside?
It was fired from outside, definitely.
Now, when you look at photo 5, on that rear windscreen,
I'm there, Chairperson.
there seemed to be a hole there.
On the rear window.
Yes.
Yes. Some of the bullets went through this rear window.
Thank you.
Yes. I think before you proceed on that, there is something unique about the case that I need you to comment on. Most of the cases we've been dealing with, we found Mr. Stale and Mr. Mangena, who come after the event to reconstruct the scene. But this is one of the few scenes where a sergeant from the police did the crime reconstruction almost immediately. And that is Mr. Padmini
Tilakadeng, yes.
Yes, and that is at GSM 21A288.
The next page.
Yes. What is that document? Can you identify it for us?
Yes, it is. This is the analyst report that was given to us by Sergeant Tilakadi.
Or Tiladare, looks like, if you swallow the K. And who is he?
He is a member of South African Police Service. He's a forensic analyst attached to the ballistic unit of the Forensic Science Laboratory.
Yes, so he is employed by the police themselves.
That is correct.
Yes. If you look at how he came to deal with this, if you go to 1A289 under paragraph 3,
Chairperson, he states there that on the 6th and 9th of February 2009, during performance of my official duties, I was requested by Inspector S. Williams of the ICD to ballistically examine the body of Mr. B.E. Mkhize, Mr. Bongani Mkhize, and also to ballistically examine the vehicle the deceased was lying in to determine the direction from which the deceased was shot from.
yes, so that is the reason he was there, is to check from where was the deceased shot.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, he then does that job in the following page, 1A290, under paragraph 4, starting at paragraph 4.2.
He says, the direction of the 9 possible entry wounds are as follows. 4.2.1, 6 were fired from the right side of the deceased. 2 were fired from the rear of the deceased. 1 was fired from middle to left of the deceased. 3 possible shrapnel lacerations on the right side of the deceased with no corresponding exit wounds. 1 possible shrapnel laceration on the right arm with a corresponding exit wound on the right elbow. 1 superficial wound on the left upper back and left side of the neck.
Yes, if you can just stop there for now, just to get your comment. What's clear from this is that the deceased is shot from the side and from the back.
That is correct.
Yes. Is that consistent at all with the notion that he was the attacker?
No, it's not conceded. Chairperson, I wanted to say, when you say from the side, the right side.
The right side, yes.
Yes.
And then paragraph 5, he also describes what he found when he got to the scene.
Yes.
Just deal with that.
He says, upon arrival at the Isipingo, police found the following were observed and noted by me. 1 black Lexus vehicle with registration, with an ND registration, and there is a number. The driver's side window and passenger's side window were shattered. The rear windscreen was shattered. 3 bullet impact marks on the front windscreen. The driver's side tires, rear passenger side tires were punctured. The presence of lead vaporizing was also present on various places of the vehicle. 32 possible bullet holes on the vehicle, which I marked as follows. D1 to D9 shot towards the driver's side of the vehicle. D10 to D27, shots from the rear towards the driver's side of the vehicle. P1 and P2, shot from the rear towards the passenger side of the vehicle. W1 to W3 are shots from the rear towards the vehicle.
And then in paragraph 6, he deals with his conclusions. And in paragraph 7, can you read those to the record, please?
Taking the above points, observation and documentation into consideration, the following can be concluded. The shots were fired from two different directions or angles, or whilst the vehicle was moving. The wounds of the deceased, as well as the damage to the vehicle, is typically of a high velocity bullet, the 5.56 millimeter that we spoke about earlier, as well as a low velocity bullet, a 9 millimeter. It can also be stated that all possible shots were fired from the outside towards the vehicle. The above conclusions were arrived at by means of an examination and process which required knowledge and skill in ballistics.
Yes. As I said earlier, this is the expert of the police themselves making it clear that these were shots from outside to inside.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Now, you mentioned you were still dealing with the pictures. I mean, there was photo 4. I'm not sure if you addressed photo 4, because I moved you from photo 5. Photo 4 is at 1A286.
286.
Yes.
Yeah. Photo 4 has an arrow a little bit up there, closer to the roof of the vehicle. This arrow, insofar as my memory shows.
Where is the arrow? May your adopted son there look at the screen, please. Please show us the arrow.
Yes.
Can you use your mouse and show us the arrow?
So it's that white
Where is the arrow?
mark.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
So what evidence are you giving about the arrow, Advocate
I'm
Maema?
just saying there's a bullet damage.
Okay, so the arrow is pointing towards a bullet lodged there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Yes, thank you. Now, your statement continues. I want to skip the next two paragraphs because we've dealt with up to paragraph 140, which is the summary of the ballistics report by Sergeant Tilakare.
That is correct, Chair.
Paragraph 141, can you deal with that?
Rakesh Maharaj and Stoll state that the deceased fired shots.
Who are they?
It's members of Ketomena unit.
Are they part of the accused?
Part of the accused persons, yes.
Carry on.
They state that the deceased fired shots in their direction and they returned fire, wounding the deceased. Sergeant Tilagare's ballistic findings were that all cartridges cases collected from the scene, including the two found inside the vehicle of the deceased, were not linked were not linked to the firearm found in the vehicle of the deceased.
Yes.
It is thus clear that this firearm depicted on photo 14 and 15 of Captain Wangena's statement was placed in the vehicle after the shooting to create an impression that Mkhize used it and tried to place the police life in danger. Copies of statements of Sergeant Tilakari and that of Captain Mangena are attached as annexures GSM 20 and GSM 21.
Yes. So when the police say, in the light of what we've seen from the ballistic expert of the police themselves, they say that there were shots from inside the vehicle. Is that true?
That is that is incorrect. It is a incorrect depiction of what happened there.
Yes. Now, this goes further beyond the scene itself, because we've seen the probabilities on the scene.
That is correct.
Yes. Into a larger plot that you deal with from paragraph 142. Can you just deal with that?
This deceased, Mr. Mkhize, obtained an interdict against the police from murdering him. Furthermore, the deceased was the target on whose head the Stenger Taxi Association was to pay 1 million rand as per Mr. Ndlondlo's statement. The application and consent order are attached here too as annexures GSM 22.
Yes, we've looked at that extensively.
Yes.
There's no reason to go back to them. But what I do want to deal with is this statement in the following paragraph. You refer to the statement of Mr. Matonzi, correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
In what context are you referring to that statement?
It explains how the plan to eliminate members of the KwaMaphumulo Taxi Association was hatched and orchestrated, including the killing of Bongani Mkhize, which we just referred to in the paragraphs that we just read.
Yes. Now, Mr.
That statement is attached as Annexure GSM 23. I'm sorry, Councillor.
Yes. No, it's 1A305.
I'm getting confused. If you can help me, Advocate Andrew, paragraph 142, this deceased, referring to Mr. Bongani Mkhize.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And is he the one who obtained an interdict?
Yes.
And Mdu Mkhize is which one?
Mkhize is the one who was killed at Nkomas.
Nkomas.
Yes. The one we dealt with earlier.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you could just take us back to the statement of Mr. Matonzi. Madam Chair, the statement at GSM 23, page 1A305 is the typed version. There is a signed statement in the dockets, which is handwritten, but we thought to make it easier for everyone, we should just attach the typed statement.
I confirm that, Chairperson.
Yes.
That the ones that we obtained originally was a handwritten version.
Yes.
305 will be, sorry?
What-
305 will be GSM 23.
Yes, correct. Yes. Now, yes, so Leonard Friend points out, just for completion, that the handwritten statement is in cross-examination file 2. Yes, actually, file 1, the one you were looking at page 235.
That is correct.
So it starts at 235 up to 243, is that correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
And then the typed statement, which is replicated at GSM 23, is at 244 to 246, is that correct?
I had it now, no, I have closed it down. 1A244.
Yes, you can just go to 1A305, GSM 23.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you've got it. All right, so it was just to confirm that it's the same statement, but it's typed and handwritten.
It is the same statement.
Yes, can you take the panel through that statement?
I will read the typed version, which is 18305 GSM 23.
Yes, carry on.
Should I start from the beginning, Chairperson?
How long is the statement?
Can I start at paragraph 4?
No, I need him to first situate himself.
Oh, okay.
Who is he?
All right.
So just deal with the introductory paragraphs first, especially 1 and 2.
That is correct. Mr. Matonzi states that he's an adult male, 33 years old at the time, residing at Kwaduguza Municipality District in KZN, with conducts that were known to the investigators. In year 2004, I was employed by Excalibur VIP Protection, guarding taxi rank of Stenga, Stenga Taxi Association, which is Kwaduguza Taxi Association. My mandate was to guard the rank. The owner of the company was Mr. Andre van der Bijl. The contract expired in year 2005. The contract given to Pentago VIP Protection, and the owner was Mr. Anwar Khan. My mandate was to give protection to Mr. Ngobo Mapoloba, who was the vice chairperson of the Stenga Taxi Association. The chairman of the association was Mr. Kanyile, to whom I gave protection in the year 2005. Paragraph 3. Sometimes I was given the task to guard Mr. B.B. Kuala. I was close to all executive members of the association. I was a trustee to all executive members of the association. Even when they planned to do something wrong, like hire a hitman to kill someone, they will discuss in my presence. Some of the members of the association were close to the unit called Ketomena unit. These members were Sanele Zondi and Bongeleni Zondi, was a member of Ketomena unit. Bongeleni Zondi had a taxi within Stenga Taxi Association at Kwaduguza. The taxi were under or registered under his younger brother Sanele. Somewhere 2007, I accompanied Sanele Zondi and Bongizo Mhlongo to meet Mr. Moster and now General Boysen. The meeting place was near Gateway Shopping Mall by the Shell garage behind the private hospital. After the meeting, I had their conversation about what was the meeting all about. Sanele and Bongizo wanted Mostert and Boysen to cover up if police want to arrest member of the Stenger Taxi Association. Sangele and Bongizo were untouchables because they had senior officer on their side. The day of the meeting, Sanele said the executive have to pay money to Ketomena senior officer, referring to Mostert and Boysen that they made. After a week, I was called to accompany Sanele and Bongizo. We went to the Gateway shopping mall of McDonald's parking. Bongizo had envelope containing money. It was notes inside. Upon arrival, we met now General Boysen and Mostert. Two senior officers were traveling in a grey BMW series.
5. BMW 5 Series. You skipped 5.
Oh, did I? My apologies.
No, I know. Don't worry.
Let me read again. We met now General Boysen and Mostert. Two senior officers were traveling in a grey BMW 5 Series. The driver was Mostert. Boysen was the passenger seated left front. There were two in the BMW car. Bongizo and Sanele got out and went straight to the BMW. Bongizo had the same envelope contained cash. I did not know how much it was. It was a lot. Sanele and Bongizo remained in the car, BMW, for about 45 minutes to an hour. In the process, there was a conflict between Stenger, Kwaduguza Taxi Association, and Mapumulo Taxi Association. According to my knowledge, during those years I was there, nobody from Stenger was either arrested or killed by Ketomena unit. The only police officer who was a threat to Stenger Taxi Association was Superintendent Kongo. According to the association, Kongo was a straight police officer. Kongo did not take any bribery from either Stenger or Mapumulo Taxi Association. If somebody committed murder relating to taxi, he would go out and arrest the suspect without involving Ketomena unit. Was not happy with Superintendent Kongo. Sanele and Bongizo were not happy too with Kongo. I heard them, Sanele and Bongizo, saying Kongo was a trouble. They will talk to senior officer, referring to Boysen and Mostert, to sort him, Kongo. I heard them talking about the plan to kill Superintendent Kongo. Sanele and Bongizo arranged with someone who was a member of Mapumulo Taxi Association to organize a hitman for Kongo. Sanele and Bongizo did not want to arrange or hire a hitman themselves. They, Sanele and Bongizo, wanted it to be seen as Mapumulo are the one who planned the killing of Superintendent Kongo. A hitman for Kongo were Kopolota, Lee, Ntembu, Swayo, and others. Ketomena unit was also part of the plan. Kongo was gunned down. After the killing of Kongo, Ketomena started to kill all hitmen behind the killing of Kongo. I heard Sasanele saying he had a list of all people that need to be killed by Ketomena. Bongani Mkhize was the chairman of Mapumulo Taxi Association. He was also on the hit list, and he was the last person to be killed. It was difficult for Ketomena to get Mkhize because of reporting Mkhize did to high authorities. During my time, I was told at Msinga homestead of Sanele, his brother Nkosi Chief Bongeleni Zondi, there was a hotel, home affairs and game reserve. Office park around their homestead was named after Bongeleni Zondi. I think even today the office named after Bongeleni Zondi. Bongeleni was a acting chief. Bongeleni was about to be given the position of the full-time chief. Sanele was not happy with that. Sanele used to complain to me. He was not happy because Bongeleni was about to be given the position to be the chief. The chief, Bongeleni Zondi, was gunned down. Swayo was arrested and granted bail. Within short period of Swayo gunned down, within a short period of Swayo was gunned down too, I heard saying, Ngaishaya
Nkabinde
Inquiry yakhala emjondolo.
Yes.
Meaning the hitman and cried inside the shack, referring to Swayo who was killed inside the shack.
Meaning hit the hitman.
Meaning hit the hitman and cried inside the shack, referring to Swayo who was killed inside the shack. Money was collected at the rank, staying at taxi rank, to pay Ketomena unit. Sanele orchestrated the killing of Bongani Mkhize. Somebody was given the task to phone Brigadier Madonzela that Bongani Mkhize was planning to kill Mandla and Ngaba and Bekikele. Sanele wanted the police to think that Bongani Mkhize was a troublemaker who killed Kongo, now was planning to kill Mandla, Ngaba and Bekikele. Within short period, Bongani Mkhize was killed by Ketomena unit. Money was collected and Ketomena was paid for job well done. I was not there when the money was paid to Ketomena. I heard that Ketomena paid, Ketomena paid. Bongani Mkhize should have been killed long time back. He was, most of the time he escaped. Ketomena will phone Sanele and give a report that they missed him. That is all that I can say for now. I know and understand the contents of the statement. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. I consider the oath to be binding on my conscience. It is dated the 9th of May 2013.
Yes. So here, from what you have read, you have a witness who's testifying, let me not say so, about two instances where the Ketomano policemen were paid money. In the first instance, he witnessed it himself, where Mr. Mostert and Mr. Boysen received cash.
That is correct.
And then in the second instance, he remembers the money being collected, but never saw it being paid.
Yes, yes.
So what were you going to use this witness for, if at all?
Chairperson, the payment of the money was intrinsic to the plan to eliminate members of the Komapumulo Taxi Association. So that it was crucial to bring that evidence before the court.
Why? What role was it playing that you have an eyewitness to a bribery involving two policemen from Ketomano, including Major General Boysen?
Well, Chairperson, that information is crucial to shed light on the planning of the killing of members of Komapumulo.
Yes. I understand you've said that it's important, but
yes.
I'm saying what legal weight, in other words, what point was being proven by establishing that the Stenga people were bribing Ketomano to eliminate Kwamapumulo?
It shows that this feud starts from the this thing starts from the feud between Kwamapumulo Taxi Association and Stenga Taxi Association.
Yes.
And the side that Ketomena was taking, but why, it also shows why they were taking that side, because they are then paid to eliminate the opposing view when they are supposed to be neutral and to do their work, which is police work.
Was Mr. Matonsi still alive at the time that you drew the indictment and you were meant to run the trial?
No, he died in.
Well, I mean, we know Mr. Ndlondlo had died.
I have, because when my colleagues consulted them, I was not present. I have this thing of confusing both Matonzi, the dying of Matonzi and Ndlondlo.
No, yes, I'm not asking you to confuse them.
Yes.
But I'm asking whether, to your knowledge, Mr. Matonzi was an available witness to be called.
Yes. Yes.
And please let me know and correct me if I am misreading the statement.
Yes.
Does this statement also not signify that the police knew who killed Superintendent Konto?
Yes, it does. It does. It does. Chairperson.
Yes, just expand on that. I mean, meaning what? I mean, the statement has a portion that deals with this, but just give the evidence fuller.
Chairperson, Ketomena was from the beginning aware of exactly what was happening, and their fueling of the feud between Kwamapumulo and Stenga Taxi Association was, which led to the death of so many people, was to us surprising. I mean, Ketomena is a law enforcement who are supposed to be protecting the citizens, but they themselves are party to the elimination of innocent citizens.
No, I think what I'm trying to get to is, you remember yesterday and last week we debated this question around the use of the death of Superintendent Kongo as a fig leaf for the subsequent execution of a number of people.
That is correct.
Because they were accused of having been party
to
the killing of Superintendent Kongo. Not that would have been lawful.
Of course.
But factually, that's the excuse that was given.
Yes, that's the narrative that was being run.
Now you've got a witness who says, I personally saw the money being paid.
Yes.
I personally witnessed the conversation about why the money was being paid.
That is correct.
So it's in that context that I think the chair is asking you to address this issue around whether the statement doesn't give you an explanation around the murder of Superintendent Kongo.
Oh, well, it does. It does give you an explanation.
Yes.
Yes.
Meaning?
Chairperson, it shows that Stenga Taxi Association was working together with the Ketomena police to have members of Kwamapumulo Taxi Association eliminated.
Yes. Now, we've addressed the statement of Mr. Matonzi, who you say, from your knowledge, was available to be called as a witness.
That is correct.
Yes. Now, Mr. Ndlondlo also gave a statement. Do you recall that?
Yes, I remember that.
Now, it's not attached to your affidavit, but it should be. Yes. Leonard Franz points me to file 1, page 157. File 1 of the cross-examination bundle.
This is
This one. Next page. Yeah. And that's the handwritten version, correct?
Page 1.
157.
That is correct.
And the last page with the signature of the Commissioner of Oaths is page 163.
That is correct, Chair.
And although he is referred to as Ndlondlo, his actual name is Beginkosi Mtiani.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes, which explains the name, the signature you see at page 163 at the top of the page, B. Mtiani.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes, thank you. The typed up version of that statement appears at page 164 to 168.
That is correct.
Is that correct? Could you also read that into the record, because it's the second source in addition to Mr. Matonse's statement of the same hue?
Chairperson, can I read the typed version, and only to indicate that the name was deleted when copies were made for the defense at the time, because this was one of the witnesses that whose identity we were protecting in terms of Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Section 1443 says, if the prosecution is of the view that a witness's name or a witness's life might be in danger, it authorizes us to, what do you call it, to, yes, certain names from the statement. So we did that with this statement. But we can see on the original, the name is Beginkosi Mtiani. And, or maybe I should just read the handwritten one.
Well, it depends on which one will be easier for you. If you can read his handwriting, fine. But if not, just look at the typed version.
All right.
Are you reading from the typed version now?
Chairperson, I'll read from the handwritten
Okay,
one.
that's fine.
Because I didn't go through the typed to
All right.
just to cross-check.
Yeah.
Beginkosi,
So you are reading at page 157.
that is correct, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Beginkosi Mtiani Zondo states under oath in English, I'm an adult male with ID number this, 32 years old at the time when it was made, residing at this address in Melville in Stenger with this cell phone number. I'm a taxi owner at Stenger Taxi Association. Sometimes year 2007, Vela Mkhize was killed at Kwamakuta Cemetery. Vela Mkhize was killed by Sanele Zondi and Nkosi Zondi. And Nkosi Zondi was also present during the killing of Vela Mkhize. The plan of killing Vela happened in this way. Nkosi Zondi went to Vela Mkhize pretending to buy a venture from Vela Mkhize. On his arrival, he told Vela that he had only 20,000 rand, and Vela was asking for 25,000 rand. Nkosi Zondi promised to bring 5,000. Vela was promised to meet them at a certain spot to be paid the whole amount of 5,000. At the spot they agreed, Vela was kidnapped by people who introduced themselves as police officers. Vela was taken on handcuffs to Kwamakuta Cemetery, and Sanele Zondi and Nkosi Zondi was met there. Sanele first hit Vela with open hands. Sanele then took out a gun and fired a shot at Vela, who was on handcuffs. Vela was found in Devon, eThekwini, and taken to the cemetery. I would also like to state that after the death of
If you
Vela,
could also just announce the paragraphs when you're shifting.
all right, I'm now at paragraph 4.
Yes.
I would also like to state that after the death of Vela, known provincial commander of taxi violence crime, Mr. Kongo, I was one of the trustee of Stenga Taxi Association. I was a chairman of a disciplinary department within the association. I knew every secret that the members do not have to know. Paragraph 5. I always have a secret meeting with the following members in the association: Mr. Kanyile, who was the chairman, Mr. Ngobo, who was the vice chairman, and also the treasurer, Bongizwe Mhlongo, who was a PRO, and Sanele Zondi, who was an additional member. Paragraph 6. Our meeting was so sensitive even to discuss the people who must be killed. Bongize was a close friend of Mr. Kongo. Mr. Kongo would always make favor to the hitman of Stenga in order to arrest Kwamapamulo Taxi Association. If there was something against Stenga's Taxi Association, Bongize would organize payment to Mr. Kongo. The cause of Mr. Kongo's death, he was investigating and arrested Mapumulo Taxi Association members. Mr. Kongo was killed by Mapumulo Taxi Association. Nkosi Zondi was a policeman working for Ketomena unit. Information was taken to Nkosi Zondi, and Nkosi Zondi arranged with his unit Ketomena and also poisoned his commander. The first member of Mapumulo Association to be assaulted was Lindelani Butelezi.
Is that assaulted or assassinated?
The first member of Mapumulo Taxi Association to be assassinated. I think it's assassinated. If we check the typed one, paragraph 9.
Paragraph 8.
8 years. The first member of Mapumulo Taxi Association to be assassinated was Lindelani, who was killed by Ketomena unit. As one of the trustees, I was there when money was arranged to pay Ketomena for a well job done. It was a lot of money. Sanele and Bongize were sent to see Nkosi Zondi and paid him their money. We were told feedback that Nkosi Zondi was paid the money. I cannot recall how much it was. The second people to be killed by Ketomena unit was Kopolo Tantuli and Natim Mtembu, nicknamed Mango Bondoan. The two were killed at Mandeni. Both were killed inside the same house. 5 of us, being Mr. Kanyile, Mr. Ngobo, Sanele, Bongizo, and I, took out, I cannot remember how much it was, but it was a lot of cash. Sanele and Bongizo were tasked to go and pay Ketomena. I heard that Ketomena unit was met at Tongat Toll Plaza and paid money, also for the job well done. Paragraph 10. The third person was Mdu Mkize. Mdu Mkize was killed by the police and money paid to those police officers. Paragraph 11. The fourth incident was the killing of Mr. Ndimande. Mr. Ndimande was killed in Howick area. Mr. Ndimande was killed by Ketomena unit all 5 of us sat down and had a secret meeting to arrange payment to Ketomena unit. An amount of 750,000 rand was raised. Money was given to Sanele Zondi and Bongizwe to go and pay Ketomena. Always when Sanele and Bongizwe left with money, they would tell us that that money was going to be given to the boss, referring to Mr. Boysen. And they would say, we have connection and we pay Boysen as head. Paragraph 12, the last person to be killed on Mapumulo Taxi Association was Bongani Mkize. Bongani Mkize was the chairperson. Bongani Mkize was killed by Ketomena unit. Money, about 1 million, was raised and given to Sanele and Bongizwe to pay Ketomena. Sanele told us that 1 million would be paid to Boysen, the big boss of Ketomena unit. Always when payment was done, Sanele would say he was going to pay Ketomena big boss, Mr. Boysen. Sanele was a registered informer of Boysen. I was a registered informer of Mr. Moster. Moster used to task me, and in return I would give him information. Paragraph 13. That is all for now what I would recall, and I would call the police. 14. I know and understand the contents of this statement. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my conscience. The statement is signed by Mr. B. Mtiani and commissioned at Richards Bay Airport on the 31 of July 2012 at 21:54 by Lieutenant Colonel Ramukosi.
Yes. Now, this is something extraordinary if you read the two statements alongside each other.
Yes.
The one person says, I was there when the money was collected.
That is correct.
And every time the Ketomena unit killed a person, we collected money.
That is correct.
I was not there when the money was paid, but I understood that it would be paid to Mr. Boysen as the boss.
The big boss, yes.
The second witness says, I was there when the money was paid. That is Mr. Matonsi.
That is
I
correct.
saw personally General Boysen getting the money.
That is correct.
And I saw Mr. Mostert getting the money.
Yes.
Now, as a prosecutor, what does that tell you in relation to the strength of your case?
Well, it strengthens that Ketomena police were part of this plan to eliminate members of Komapumulo Taxi Association.
No, but in relation to the quality of the evidence that you have, remember what this case boils down to
Yes.
is some people saying, oh, you don't have good enough evidence.
Yes, it adds credence. It adds value. It's a different kind of evidence, but it adds impetus on how the accused are linked to the offences.
I mean, does it strengthen the case?
It
or
strengthens the case, yes.
Yes. Now, we know that at the time this matter was being considered, I don't know exactly the date when Mr. Mtiane Dlondlo died, but there is a reference in the Tikok report that he was dead. I think at the time that you were planning to start the trial, but at some point he passed away.
Yes, at some stage he passed away.
Yes. Now, his death in the context of a statement he has given that money was collected,
Yes.
what impact would that have had on the trial?
Well, remember his death would not take away the evidence that he has given in the form of a statement under oath.
Yes.
Because that evidence can be presented in terms of the Hearsay Evidence Act 1 of 1945.
And you would explain why it's given by a person other than the person on whose property value
That is correct.
resides.
Yes. Section 31C sets out the factors that are taken into account by the court to consider the admissibility of that statement.
So his death wouldn't mean that the statement is inadmissible.
100%.
Yes. Now, and there is the whole thing about hearsay. I mean, a witness who says, I was there when the money was collected, and it was said that it was being collected for Mr. General Boyson. Is that a hearsay evidence, or is it direct evidence?
It's credible direct evidence. He was there.
Yes. And a witness who says, I saw the money being paid to Mr. Mostert and to Major General Boyson, is that hearsay or direct evidence?
That is direct evidence. At least at the time of the decision, that is direct evidence that has not been watered down by cross-examination or anything.
Yes, yes. So was there any reason for you to doubt that these two witnesses, these two statements, would not be accepted by a judge, or anything that would have been wrong with them?
There was no reason to think. In fact, the law gives us a mechanism as to how that evidence has to be brought before court and considered together with the rest of the evidence that we are going to present before court.
Yes. Madam Chair, it's 1:23. I'm happy to just press ahead, but I'm in your hands.
I think it's the appropriate moment to take a lunch break for 45 minutes. My sisters agree that 45 minutes for lunch will be appropriate. We will reconvene at about 2:15.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
2:15.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Advocate Mayema, you are still under oath.
That is correct.
We adjourn.